Thursday, October the 1st, 7:30 a.m. Just woke up to find Chin covered in spots. How can I face Pandora? 10 p.m. Avoided Pandora all day, but she caught up with me in school dinners. I tried to eat with my hand over my chin, but it proved very difficult. I confessed to her during the yogurt. She accepted my disability very calmly. She said it made no difference to our love, but I couldn't help thinking that her kisses lacked their usual passion as we were saying goodnight after youth club. Friday, October the 2nd, 6 p.m. I am very unhappy and have once again turned to great literature for solace. It's no surprise to me that intellectuals commit suicide, go mad, or die from drink. We feel things more than other people. We know the world is rotten and that chins are ruined by spots. I am reading Progress, Coexistence and Intellectual Freedom by Andrei D. Sakharov. It is an inestimably important document, according to the cover. 11:30 p.m. Progress, Coexistence and Intellectual Freedom is inestimably boring, according to me, Adrian. I disagree with Sakharov's analysis of the causes of the revivalism of Stalinism. We are doing Russia at school, so I speak from knowledge. Saturday, October the 3rd. Pandora is cooling off. She didn't turn up at Bert's today. I had to do his cleaning on my own. Went to Sainsbury's as usual in the afternoon. They are selling Christmas cakes. I feel that my life is slipping away. I am reading Wuthering Heights. It is brilliant. If I could get Pandora up somewhere high, I'm sure we could regain our old passion. Sunday, October the 4th, 16th after Trinity. Persuaded Pandora to put her name down for the youth club's mountain survival course in Derbyshire. Rick Lemon is sending an equipment list and permission form to our parents. Or in my case, to my parent. I've only got 2 weeks to reach peak condition. I try to do 50 press-ups a night. I try to do them, but fail. 17 is my best so far. Monday, October the 5th. Bert has been kidnapped by social services. They are keeping him at the Alderman Cooper Sunshine Home. I have been to see him. He shares a room with an old man called Thomas Bell. They have both got their names on their ashtrays. Sabre has got a place in the RSPCA hostel. Our dog has gone missing. It is a portent of doom. Tuesday, October the 6th. Moon's first quarter. Pandora and I went to visit Bert, but it was a waste of time, really. His room had a strange effect on us. It made us not want to talk about anything. Bert says he is going to sue social services for depriving him of his rights. He says he has to go to bed at 9:30. It's not fair because he's used to staying up until after the epilogue. We passed the lounge on our way out. The old people sat around the walls in high chairs. The television was on, but nobody was watching it. The old people looked as though they were thinking. Social services have painted the walls orange to try to cheer the old people up. It doesn't seem to have worked. Wednesday, October the 7th. Thomas Bell died in the night. Bert says that nobody leaves the home alive. Bert is the oldest inmate. He's dead worried about dying. He is now the only man in the entire home. Pandora says that women outlive men. She says it's a sort of bonus because women have to suffer more earlier on. Our dog is still missing. I have put an advert in Mr. Cherry's shop. Thursday, October the 8th. Bert is still alive, so I took Sabre to visit him today. We propped Bert up at the window of his room, and he waved to Sabre, who was on the lawn outside. Dogs are not allowed inside the home. It's another of their poxy rules. Our dog is still missing, now presumed dead. Friday, October the 9th. The matron of the home says that if Bert is dead good, he can come out for the day on Sunday. He is coming to our house for Sunday dinner and tea. The phone bill has come. I have hidden it under my mattress. It is for £289.19. Saturday, October the 10th. I am really worried about our dog. It has vanished off the face of our suburb. Nigel, Pandora and I have walked the cul-de-sacs looking for it. Another worry is my father. He lies in bed until noon, then fries a mess in a pan, eats it, opens a can or bottle, then sits and watches Afternoon Plus. He is making no attempt to find another job. He needs a bath, a haircut and a shave. It's parents' night at school next Tuesday. I have taken his best suit to the cleaners. I bought a book from W.H. Smith's. It was only 5p. It was written by an unsuccessful writer called Drake Fairclough. It is called Cordon Bleu for the Elderly. Bert is coming tomorrow. Pandora's father has ordered their phone to be taken out. He has found out about the reverse charge calls. Sunday, October the 11th, 17th after Trinity. Bert's visit. I got up early this morning and cleared the furniture out of the hall so that Bert's wheelchair had room for manoeuvre. I made my father a cup of coffee and took it up to him in bed. Then I started cooking geriatric coq au vin. I left it on to boil whilst I went back upstairs to reawaken my father. When I got downstairs, I knew that I'd made a mess of the coq au vin. All the vinegar had boiled away and left burnt chicken. I was most disappointed because I was thinking of making my debut as a cook today. I wanted to impress Pandora with my multi-talents. I think she's getting a bit bored with my conversation about great literature and the Norwegian leather industry. Bert insisted on bringing a big trunk with him when Pandora's father picked him up at the home. So what with that and his wheelchair, and Bert sprawling all over the back seat, I was forced to crouch in the hatch of the hatchback car. It took ages to get Bert out of the car and into his wheelchair, almost as long as it took me to get my father out of bed. Pandora's father stayed for a quick drink, then a pre-lunch one, then a chaser, then one for the road. Then he had one to prove that he never got drunk during the day. Pandora's lips started to go thin. Women must teach young girls to do this. Then she confiscated her father's car keys and phoned her mother to come and collect the car. I had to endure watching my father do his imitation of some bloke called Frank Sinatra singing, "One for my baby and one more for the road." Pandora's father pretended to be the bartender with our Tupperware custard jug. They were both drunkenly singing when Pandora's mother came in. Her lips were so thin they had practically disappeared. She ordered Pandora and Pandora's father out into the car. Then she said that it was about time my father pulled himself together. She said she knew my father felt humiliated, alienated and bitter because he was unemployed, but that he was setting a bad example to an impressionable adolescent. Then she drove off at 10 miles per hour. Pandora blew me a kiss through the rear windscreen. I object strongly. Nothing my father does impresses me anymore. Had Vesta curry and rice for dinner, during which Mrs. Singh came round and talked Hindi to Bert. She seemed to find our curry very funny. She kept pointing to it and laughing. Sometimes I think I'm the only person in the world who still has manners. Bert told my father that he is convinced the matron is trying to poison him. Bert, not my father. But my father said that all institutional food is the same. When it was time to go home, Bert started crying. He said, "Don't make me go back there," and other sad things. My father explained that we didn't have the skill to look after him at our house, so Bert was wheeled to the car, although he kept putting the brake of the wheelchair on. He asked us to keep his trunk at our house. He said it was to be opened on his death. The key is round his neck on a bit of string. Dog is still AWOL. Monday, October the 12th. Columbus Day, USA. Thanksgiving Day, Canada. Went to the Off the Streets Youth Club tonight. Rick Lemon gave us a lecture on survival techniques. He said that the best thing to do if you're suffering from hypothermia is to climb into a plastic bag with a naked woman. Pandora made a formal objection, and Rick Lemon's girlfriend, Tit, got up and walked away. It is just my luck to be on the mountain with a frigid woman. R.I.P. Dog. Tuesday, October the 13th, full moon. Had an angry phone call from my grandma to ask when we were coming round to collect the dog. The stupid dog turned up at her house on the 6th of October. I went round immediately and was shocked at the dog's condition. It looks old and grey. In human years it is 11 years old. In dog years it should be drawing a pension. I have never seen a dog age so quickly. Those 8 days with Grandma must have been hell. My grandma is very strict. Wednesday, October the 14th. I have nearly got used to the old ladies in the home now. I call in every afternoon on my way home from school. They seem pleased to see me. One of them is knitting me a balaclava for my survival weekend. She is called Queenie. Did 36.5 press-ups tonight. Thursday, October the 15th. Went to the youth club to try yucky, lousy old walking boots for size. Rick Lemon has hired them from a mountaineering shop. To make mine fit, I have to wear 3 pairs of socks. 6 of us are going. Rick is leading us. He is unqualified, but experienced in surviving bad conditions. He was born and brought up in Kirby Newtown. I went to Sainsbury's and bought my survival food. We have got to carry our food and equipment in our rucksacks, so weight is an important factor. I bought 1 box cornflakes, 2 pints milk, box tea bags, tin rhubarb, 5 pound spuds, ½ pound lard, ½ pound butter, 2 loaves bread, 1 pound cheese, 2 packets biscuits, 2 pounds sugar, toilet roll, washing up liquid, 2 tins tuna, 1 tin stewed steak, 1 tin carrots. I could hardly carry my survival food home from Sainsbury's, so how I will manage it on a march across the hills I don't know. My father suggested leaving something out, so I have not packed the toilet roll or cornflakes. Friday, October the 16th. Have decided not to take my diary to Derbyshire. I cannot guarantee that it will not be read by hostile eyes. Besides, it won't fit into my rucksack. Must finish now. The minibus is outside, papping its hooter. Saturday, October the 17th. Sunday, October the 18th. 18th after Trinity. 8 p.m. It is wonderful to be back in civilization. I have lived like an ignoble savage for the past 2 days, sleeping on rough ground with only a sleeping bag between me and the elements, trying to cook chips over a tiny primus stove, trudging through streams in my tortuous boots, having to perform my natural functions out in the open, wiping my bum on leaves, not being able to have a bath or clean my teeth. No television or radio or anything. Rick Lemon wouldn't even let us sit in the minibus when it started to rain. He said we ought to make a shelter out of nature's bounty. Pandora found a plastic animal food sack, so we took it in turns sitting under it. How I survived, I don't know. My eggs broke, my bread got saturated, my biscuits got crushed, and nobody had a tin opener. I nearly starved. Thank God cheese doesn't leak, break, soak up water, or come in a tin. I was glad when we were found and taken to the mountain rescue headquarters. Rick Lemon was told off for not having a map or compass. Rick said he knew the hills like the back of his hand. The chief mountain rescuer said that Rick must have been wearing gloves because we were 7 miles from our minibus and heading in the wrong direction. I shall now sleep in a bed for the first time in 2 days. No school tomorrow because of blisters. Monday, October the 19th. I have got to rest my feet for 2 days. Dr. Gray was very unpleasant. He said that he resented being called out for a few foot blisters. I was very surprised at his attitude. It is a well-known fact that mountaineers get gangrene of the toes. Tuesday, October the 20th. Moon's last quarter. Here I am, lying in bed unable to walk because of excruciating pain, and my father carries out his parental responsibilities by throwing a few bacon sandwiches at me 3 times a day. If my mother doesn't come home soon, I will end up deprived and maladjusted. I am already neglected. Wednesday, October the 21st. Hobbled to school. All the teachers were wearing their best clothes because it is parents' evening tonight. My father got cleaned up and put his best suit on. He looked okay, thank God. Nobody could tell he was unemployed. My teachers all told him that I was a credit to the school. Barry Kent's father was looking as sick as a pig. Ha, ha, ha. Thursday, October the 22nd. Limped halfway to school. Dog followed me. Limped back home. Shut dog in coal shed. Limped all the way to school. 15 minutes late. Mr. Scruton said it was not setting a good example for the late prefect to be late. It's all right for him to talk. He can ride to school in a Ford Cortina, and then all he has to do is be in charge of a school. I have got a lot of problems and no car. Friday, October the 23rd. I have had a letter from the hospital to say that I have got to have my tonsils out on Tuesday the 27th. This has come as a complete shock to me. My father says I have been on the waiting list since I was 5 years old. So I have had to endure an annual bout of tonsillitis for 9 years just because the National Health Service is starved of finance. Why can't midwives remove babies' tonsils at birth? It would save a lot of trouble, pain and money. Saturday, October the 24th, United Nations Day. Went shopping for new dressing gowns, slippers, pyjamas and toiletries. My father was moaning as usual. He said he didn't see why I couldn't just wear my old nightclothes in hospital. I told him that I would look ridiculous in my Peter Pan dressing gown and Winnie the Pooh pyjamas. Apart from the yucky design, they are too small and covered in patches. He said that when he was a lad, he slept in a nightshirt made out of 2 coal sacks stitched together. I phoned my grandma to check this suspicious statement, and my father was forced to repeat it down the phone. My grandma said that they were not coal sacks, but flour sacks, so I now know that my father is a pathological liar. My hospital rig came to £54.19. This is before fruit, chocolates and Lucozade. Pandora said I looked like Noel Coward in my new Bry nylon dressing gown. I said, "Thanks, Pandora." Although, to be honest, I don't know who Noel Coward is or was. I hope he's not a mass murderer or anything. Sunday, October the 25th. 19th after Trinity. British summertime ends. Phoned my mother to tell her about my coming surgical ordeal. No reply. This is typical. She would sooner be out having fun with creep Lucas than comforting her only child. Grandma rang and said that she knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who had their tonsils out and bled to death on the operating theatre table. She ended up by saying, "Don't worry, Adrian, I'm sure everything will be all right for you." Thanks a million, Grandma. Monday, October the 26th, Bank Holiday in the Republic of Ireland. 11 a.m. I did my packing, then went to see Bert. He is sinking fast, so it could be the last time we see each other. Bert also knows somebody who bled to death after a tonsils extraction. I hope it's the same person. Said goodbye to Pandora. She wept, very touchingly. She brought me one of Blossom's old horseshoes to take into hospital. She said a friend of her father had a cyst removed and didn't come out of the anaesthetic. I'm being admitted to Ivy Swallow Ward at 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. 6 p.m. My father has just left my bedside after 4 hours of waiting around for permission to leave. I have had every part of my body examined. Liquid substances have been taken from me. I have been weighed and bathed, measured and prodded and poked, but nobody has looked in my throat. I have put our family medical dictionary on my bedside table so that the doctors see it and are impressed. I can't tell what the rest of the ward is like yet, because the nurses have forgotten to remove the screens. A notice has been hung over my bed. It says, "Liquids only." I am dead scared. 10 p.m. I am starving. A black nurse has taken all my food and drink away. I'm supposed to go to sleep, but it is like bedlam in here. Old men keep falling out of bed. Midnight. There is a new notice over my bed. It says, "Nil by mouth." I am dying of thirst. I would give my right arm for a can of local. Tuesday, October the 27th. New moon. 4 a.m. I am dehydrated. 6 a.m. Just been woken up. Operation is not until 10 a.m, so why couldn't they let me sleep? I've got to have another bath. I told them that it is the inside of my body that is being operated on, but they don't listen. 7 a.m. A Chinese nurse stayed in the bathroom to make sure I didn't drink any water. She kept staring, so I had to put a hospital sponge over my thing. 7:30 a.m. I am dressed like a lunatic, ready for the operation. I have had an injection. It's supposed to make you sleepy, but I'm wide awake listening to a row about a patient's lost notes. 8 a.m. My mouth is completely dry. I shall go mad from thirst. I haven't had a drink since 9:45 last night. I feel very floaty. The cracks in the ceiling are very interesting. I've got to find somewhere to hide my diary. I don't want prying nosy Parkers reading it. 8:30 a.m. My mother is at my bedside. She's going to put my diary in her organiser handbag. She has promised, on the dog's life, not to read it. 8:45 a.m. My mother is in the hospital grounds smoking a cigarette. She's looking old and haggard. All the debauchery is catching up with her. 9 a.m. The operating trolley keeps coming into the ward and dumping unconscious men into beds. The trolley pushers are wearing green overalls and Wellingtons. There must be loads of blood on the floor of the theatre. 9:15 a.m. The trolley is coming in my direction. Midnight. I am devoid of tonsils. I am in a torrent of pain. It took my mother 13 minutes to find my diary. She doesn't know her way round her organiser handbag yet. It has got 17 compartments. Wednesday, October the 28th. I am unable to speak. Even groaning causes agony. Thursday, October the 29th. I have been moved to a side ward. My suffering is too much for the other patients to bear. Had a get well card from Bert and Sabre. Friday, October the 30th. I was able to sip a little of Grandma's broth today. She brought it in her thermos flask. My father brought me a family pack of crisps. He might just as well have brought me razor blades. Pandora came at visiting time. I had little to whisper to her. Conversation palls when one is hovering between life and death. Saturday, October the 31st. Halloween. 3 a.m. I have been forced to complain about the noise coming from the nurses' home. I am sick of listening to and watching drunken nurses and off-duty policemen cavorting around the grounds dressed as witches and wizards. Nurse Baldry was doing something particularly unpleasant with a pumpkin. I'm joining Booper as soon as they'll have me.